Hello everybody, AOG Gaming here, back with another video on Outer Plane. As you can tell, I am much more happy to be making a video about this game because it is actually good. It's still got some problems, so we're going to be doing an account review for 2.5 weeks. So it is our 18th day, well, technically the start of our 18th day playing this game. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, so first we'll go over accounts, do some account review, and then I will do the rest of the video on what Outer Plane can do to make the game a lot more just fun and free to play viable, just like in general. Yeah, that's it. All right, so let's get straight into it. For my account, I have not gotten a single Akari copy, even though I've summoned this 60 times already. So it sucks. I only have a 3-star Akari. Before we get too deep into that, that's all I really wanted to mention in terms of summons. Oh, we can do a 10 summon actually. I didn't even see that. Well, why not? Probably won't get a 3-star, but yeah, definitely not. Getting 3-star units is so rare. I think that's one of the problems with the game. But yeah, okay. So first we go to our account, right? So we got 3 level 60s or above. 2 that are very close, and then 1 that is 43. Basically, these are the only units we've been using because I think story 7, chapter 7 for normal mode, you need both. Well, first of all, you just need all of the hero types. So you need a healer, you need a ranger, you need a striker, you need a defender, and you need a mage. So as you can see, all my heroes, I have at least one of each type with one extra ranger because I got a Kari. But yeah, Yuri is my defender, Laplace is my mage, Rona is my striker, and she should be because you get her 4-star for free anyway. Seiran is my healer, and then Valentine and Akari are my rangers. Except I use Valentine more as a ranger and Akari more of a sweeping unit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So you need these units to get 3 stars. You don't need them to complete story or sorry adventure. But if you want to complete adventure, guess chapter 7, 8, and 9 so far that I've been dealing with. You need a. So if you go up here to the info right next to the stars, it tells you mages. So sometimes you also need specific typing. I've seen fire and water a lot. I've seen mage and defender a lot. You're probably going to be using Rona anyway because you get her for free, 4 stars. So unless you get a better striker, but I think Rona is pretty much the safest bet because she has ridiculous damage, AoE, and she heals herself and shields. So what more could you ask for? Yeah, for Eva's tactical guide, I've completed everything, 3-star it, so I could get all the rewards, obviously. Um, yeah, it's really not that hard. You just have to listen to exactly what it says and be very careful because if you do one extra attack or something, it messes up the whole thing, which is kind of stupid because you can do that in battle and it's still very forgiving. But I guess it's teaching you how to be very perfect at battle. So I would say these last 3 are very good. Those strong enemies 1, 2, and 3. They basically teach you how to battle against bosses effectively. Super helpful. Um, I mean, yeah, in story, you face a paywall when you get to chapter 9-11 because you face Leo, um, and then this other little girl. So she's not that bad to deal with, except for the fact that she has 176 accuracy, which is ridiculous, right? So basically, she's gonna stun your team no matter what, and then Leo's gonna nuke you with his defense. And I have a fucking 5-star Rona who is level 66, and she still gets fucking nuked completely. Not even Siran or Valentine or Akari sometimes. Usually, I only have 2 units left. Yet somehow, it's the only match that I've had problem with this entire story mode. Like it was instant. 9-10 was super easy. Completely like I just sped run through it. I didn't have to think about it. Soon as you get here, it is literally physically impossible unless your heroes are like level 80 or more. You can try with level 60, you're just going to be AoE to death. This is one of the things that I hate about this game, that I hate when developers do this. Why is there a paywall? It's also normal mode, and it came out of nowhere too. So yeah, the problem is that you face the boss right away, so you can't even use the chain point skill. So here, I mean, I can show y'all, right? So this is why I'm hard stuck. So this is as far as I can go in story until I level up, get more copies of the same hero. Basically, I just need to get higher stats because there's no other fucking way to pass this other than paying money as fast as possible. Unless you want to wait like a week or a week and a half until you can pass this. That's probably what I'm going to have to do. So you're probably not going to see any more story gameplay mode because of what this bullshit company does. What every company does with their fucking gotcha games. Why you got to put fucking paywalls? Like I said before, free is fun. Putting paywalls, even if you're all going to pay for it, makes it that much more less fun because you're putting in work to have fun rather than just having fun right off the bat. Something that I keep having to emphasize to every company out there. This is why more people are starting to lean towards console games rather than mobile gaming, because it is 100% scammy if you're going to keep pulling the same bullshit and thinking that we're going to fall for it. There's paywalls, there's egregious gotchas where like a 2% chance is the highest you get for like a unit. It's like, why am I playing this game? Like I always shit on Mortal Kombat, the mobile game, but honestly, out of every fucking gotcha game that I've seen, that one has some of the best chances to pull for legendaries out of any goddamn game out there, and that is saying a lot because that game, well, actually, it's gotten a lot better. So I would say that game has gotten a lot better, but it definitely had a lot of things about it at the beginning that were just like you can't really progress without paying. Which is why that game, the only reason it's still alive is because of the only game that they've released. Once they release Onslaught, you can say goodbye to that game. Um, yeah, and it's really just the whales that have kept it alive, and the one YouTuber Starinsky. Oh, I guess Kude as well, but it's this thing where like these old gotcha games have to keep up, and then these new gotcha games try and do what these old gotcha games did at the beginning, and then they wonder like, why is my game not making money? Well, it's because you're trying to scam us again, and we're kind of done with it. They're like, no, it's not a scam. It 100% is a fucking scam. If you don't got at least a bare minimum 10% legendary chance in your hero gotchas game systems today, it's not worth your time. 100%. I am sorry. The only reason that I play your games is because they are visually and mechanically appealing. Otherwise, I'm not playing them. Genshin Impact, yeah, it's a fun game. Do I think it's a scam? 100%. I don't care how many people are mad that I'm saying that, but it's true. Why do you think it's doing worse than Honkai Star Rail Impact? It's because of the fucking gotcha chances. It's everything about the game itself, other than like the mechanics. There are probably some mechanics that people hate, like in this slide and other games as well, that there are horrible mechanics. Like this game, there are some weird mechanics that I'm like, interesting how that works. Where like when the boss, they get like double turns after the last turn before the rage, like it's really weird. Somehow they get enough speed to outspeed your entire goddamn team like instantly. So I don't know how that mechanic works, but it's not explained. Um yeah, all right. Well, now I'm ranting, but pretty much this is the same thing. Like I can't say that this game is free to play friendly just because of this one thing. So everything that I've said about this game being the best free to play friendly game, well, I'm taking it back now because I've realized technically it is. As far as free to play has been, this is pretty fair and easy. But I'm starting to see that there are really no differences between this company and other companies that are making the gotcha games. They try and make their games basically like every other gotcha game out there, and they try and market it the same way. That's why I'm saying it's the same because it's literally the same fucking like type of game. And I know that's like generalizing, like, well, what did you expect? It's a gotcha game. It's not just that it's a fucking gotcha game. It's that it's literally like every goddamn gotcha game out there. There's a story mode. There's, you get gear, you get weapons, whatever it is. There's a tower, obviously, because why wouldn't they have a fucking tower in a gotcha game? And then there is like the units that you want, obviously, in the game, the 3 stars, and then there are the bad units, and then there's this paywall. They always have it in the gotcha game, and I was like so close to thinking that Outer Plane would not have that, other than the XP, which is another thing I do have to mention, but we will get into that later. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take back everything I said. This game is not free to play friendly after 2.5 weeks. As you can see, here's the proof. Um, I mean, we can battle, but we're just gonna die. We've already done it multiple times. And here's the funny thing: we have more power. How in the fuck does that make sense? I don't understand how power scaling makes sense anymore. So for every gotcha game, you just shouldn't trust them. Don't look at the power. Just don't pay attention to it whatsoever. Because so far, it's just been bullshit. It doesn't matter. You could look at the stats and it doesn't matter because they don't actually tell you the truth. And it's like, how are people supposed to competitively and accurately play games like this while also having fun if you're going to make the game more difficult in ways that are not fun but actually detrimental to the players? This slide is a prime example of this. 100% just saying F you to the free to play players, and I mean, that's all they've been doing. So, really, that's all I can say about this light. And it's the same thing with the wish stones that I was saying before. Like, you got the wish stones, and it just takes forever to get a unit. Same with this game, right? So I've done 60 draws, right, since Akari came out, which is actually pretty decent. I would say I would probably be able to get another Akari copy from the actual draw itself. Wait, so let's go back. So I mean, I didn't really show you much of account review. I mean, I'm on chapter 9-11 because it's a fucking paywall, like I said. Um, Heroes, I got a 5-star Claire. That's pretty decent. 4-star Eva. I'm starting to get more units. Ooh, now I have a 4-star Flamberg or whatever this unit I'm probably not going to use because it's not even a rare. Like it's things like this where I'm like, okay. He might be used in RTA though, so he is a healer, so there's always uses for healers. Um Yeah, and there's really nothing else to talk about. Like, I still haven't gotten fucking Dolly, so I don't even have all the 2-star units. It's like, really? And I mean, I kind of like that that's the thing. That means that they're actually going to be useful because they're rare. But at the same time, it's like, I've been playing for 2.5 weeks already. I don't really expect me to have all the rare units, but I mean, I guess I have all of them except one, so I really shouldn't complain about that. But I haven't gotten another 3-star unit, and I'm not complaining about that as well. So I'm not talking about those things because again, those will be a problem for other players. For this account specifically, I got another copy of Seiran, Rona, and Valentine. So those 3 4 stars, I've just been using them because why would I use any other unit when I got 4 stars that are also some of the 3 best units in the game, and I was able to get a 5-star in my Rona. So like all these units, I you really don't have a use for them other than getting your typings for, if you need water, fire, wind, light and dark. Sometimes I haven't seen that yet, but I'm pretty sure that'll be like in hard or normal mode, maybe for like the part 2 or whatever if I ever get to it. But yeah, so I just want to go into my units, right? So their effectiveness is obviously not as high. Yeah, it's not even close. Like 6k health. So I have like 6k health, right? I'm just livid about this cuz I hate when fucking companies do this. Like why? Why you got to put a fucking paywall that is so obvious? Like I will do battles 9-10 and -11 in this video to show you at the end to show you the how obvious the paywall is that it's not even funny. It's like, then why the fuck did you even blue, like basically they string you along. This is what companies do. They string you along in their gotcha games and then they hit you with the paywalls. This is what most beginner free to play gotcha games do because they're really fun at the beginning, but you play for like a few weeks or maybe a month, and then they hit you with the paywall because they're like, all right, now we have them hooked. Let's scam them. Let's drain their account. Let's make them realize that all the time they've been spending on this game is false because now they got to spend money just to keep the same amount of grind. That's another thing. These games don't know how to do the fucking grind right, and instead of actually making it better, they make it worse by making it worse for the free to play beginner players. It's like, come on. Okay, so I know I was drinking water. Sorry, I know I've been speaking a lot. So let's stop ranting and actually talk about specific things. So first and foremost, the biggest part that I have a problem with this can't speak today. The biggest problem I have with this game is the fact that it's not really a problem. It's more like a something they need to fix, and I'm gonna not applaud them for it, but what's the right word? I'm gonna compliment them on this. So I love the fact that you can do these story side modes, and basically you can max out a character once you get them. So what happens is I can go to, like, for example, Kari's, go here, select team, and then do auto and sweep, right? See, this is amazing, right? Because you can always get at least 15 tokens of one hero, plus, whatever secondary unit there is. You get a clear ticket, and you can grind. So I love this. The only problem is it's not enough. 15 a day is so minuscule, considering that they made a mechanic where if you don't pull the unit during their banner, you actually only get 50 of their shards or whatever it's called. So it's even harder and it takes longer to get the unit. Plus, it's also the fact that you don't get the same amount of shards every time for the units. You get 150, but for every time every star that you get, it like doubles or something like that. I have to see how much it is, but it costs more and more shards basically. So it becomes a problem that even when you pull it in the banner, sometimes you have to pull multiple copies just to get one extra star. And that's really apparent with the 6 stars. So for Rona 5 star, you basically have to get 2 copies of her. So let's just go back. So as you can see, for Rona, we need 450 shards. That is a egregious amount. You basically need, what is it, 5? Well, you get 50. So one, two, three, four. You need 9 copies of Rona from her banner, from her freaking raid up to 6 star her. That shows to me that this game is definitely not free to play friendly, because you're gonna hit a wall way before then, like I mentioned, and that is in the story mode. So it like I started doing the math, and I'm like, wait a second, there is a lot about this game that they basically said, okay, yeah, so we're basically going to string them along like every other gotcha game does, make them hooked into our game. It's a great game, I'm not gonna lie. Mechanics wise, this game is probably one of the fairest, balanced, and most fun games I've played. But when it comes to the grinding, it is still has that problem with the gotchas where they want the free to play players. They basically are trying to. So this is the way I'm gonna explain it. Right, I'm gonna think how the developers think. Right, so I'm gonna be like, how can we make more money? Oh, all right, let's just put everything behind paywalls. Make it harder to get units maxed out, so that you have to pay more money, and make sure that the progress for free to play is evened out to the point where they can only play for a certain amount of time. How in the fuck is that a great game? I'm sorry. I'm not even like mad. I'm just like, are you all like lower than 2 IQ human beings? Like, what the fuck? Monkeys are smarter than you. Why would you do that? First of all, that's not how you make a game. A game's priority is one, player retention with what? With fun. How do you do that? Having less steps to have fun. What's an extra fucking 3 steps? Paying money. Because what do you gotta do? You gotta click on the offer. You gotta pay. Sometimes you gotta confirm. And then 3, you gotta make sure the confirmation goes through. Sometimes your bank stops you because you're spending a ridiculous amount of money on your account for a gotcha game, because they try and siphon your life savings away. Unlike buying an Xbox and playing Game Pass, which 400 games for fucking $15 that cost less than getting a 5 star unit in this game. Like, it's things like this. I'm like, people, just open your eyes, stop playing these games. They're not worth your time. Yes, they're fun mechanically and everything, but they are not worth your time if the developers are literally going to try at every way possible to limit your progress. Even if you're paying money, that is the problem. Like, this is ridiculous. It should always be 150 for a unit. Like, it would make the game that much more better when it comes to grinding, when it comes to getting the units, and when it comes to maxing them out. It'd be that much better. So yeah, I'm just really sad that they have decided to go down this path, because this is one of the reasons why Outer Plane is still like it's still like really good mechanically wise. But when it comes to the grind, everyone is starting to realize, oh yeah, like if I go to arena, I can show you people have not logged in for like 86 days or something. And it makes sense because they get around my level and they're like, wait a second, why is this like every other gotcha game? Like, companies, y'all have to stop doing exactly what every other gotcha game does, because that is why they're dying. Nobody wants to play these scam of a games that are going to string us along and then basically have us have the smallest amount of progress for free to play unless you're paying money. And for average players, they're fine paying money once in a while, but if they have to do it every day, no thank you. And not even every day, like at least twice a week is ridiculous enough. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why Balloons Battles 2 died so quickly, is because they made a subscription to their premium. And even now, it hasn't regained all the popularity it had before because, again, the game is behind a like content is behind the paywall. That's the problem. They're putting their content behind the paywall. If they want people to actually have fun with the new content, they need to give it out for free. I think that's one thing that this line needs to do if they need to be revived. I think that's one thing that Outer Plane has to do if this game wants to be as big as Epic 7, because Epic 7 is definitely a lot better, just overall. You can grind a lot more in that game in general. And here's the next part, right? So grinding. For one, for base, it's been 2.5 weeks, and I am like this is pretty decent, right? So this is the one thing that I will say that they have done pretty decently on is this is fine. Like, I'm close to maxing stuff out, and I actually have a lot of anti-particle generator stuff, so I might be using it. Um, but yeah, like this is fine, right? It's only the problem where you get to the tickets, and I haven't really run into any problems yet. Wait, oh, I have to unlock this first. Yeah. Okay, now I can. All right, cool. So this is fine, right? Like, I get that the base will take you a while to do. I'm okay with that. That's not my biggest gripe. My biggest gripe with the progress is, again, the side story. You can only do 2 heroes. I think they should switch it to 4 heroes. Because one, you get to be able to do 4 units, which, your team consists of 4 units. So not only would you be playing with those units, but you'd be grinding daily for them. Or you could do 2 and then do stories on other ones. And there's a problem with that, right? Doing that more than 2 units, because if you don't do 2 units, you don't get the maximum amount of shards you can, because you can only sweep 5. And the problem is, if you look up here, you only get 10 side story challenges, which is BS, because it limits you to 2 characters or limits you to doing one whole story. That's if there's 10 chapters, because some of them have more, like 11. So when you do something else, you can only do, well, actually, I think the 11th one doesn't take away a counter, so you can still do 5. But for Akari, she had 12. Actually, 11, I think, in total, because it only counts the ones with stars. So she had 10 then? No, because I had to do multiple. Yeah, because those still count for side story challenges themselves, because I remember doing it and I had 8 left. So it still takes away, and it sucks because they're adding more, and you can see they're basically like, okay, so how can we detriment the player base that is not paying us more? And maybe that's not exactly what they're saying, but that's what happens, developers, Outer Plane, when you all think, how can we make more money? Because it shouldn't be, how can we make more money? How can we make this game more popular so people have more fun and more people are playing it? Because that in turn will get you more revenue. A game is not fun because it makes money, like I said before. A game is fun because one, there's a well built community around it. Two, it is enjoyable to the point where you could spend hours on it, or you can spend like 30 minutes on it and you can still have the similar experience on it. And then three, that not everything, like all the new content is behind paywalls. Like, come on. So yeah, it's just things like that. I really love the fact that you can unlock. Like, this is the best thing about the game. But the reason why this isn't as big of news, as big as a game as people think, is because they are literally limiting. They're literally detrimenting their player base by doing this. Even the people who play, or sorry, pay money, because they can only grind 2 units anyway. Like, what is there is no logical point other than they wanted to make more money, so they had to limit the free to play, and this is what they did as a result of that. Literally, it doesn't lose them or gain the money in any way, shape, or form. In fact, it's probably only losing the money because this is one of the things that will turn players away. Like, it almost turned me away, but I was like, well, to be fair, you can still grind the units, but it sucks. And again, it goes back to the fact that every star that you get on a unit makes it so that when you try and get shards for that unit, it's going to take more and more shards. And the problem is you can only do 2 units. Ah, so yeah, that's something I had to clear up because it's one of my biggest pet peeves about the game. They need to fix that like ASAP. Just do 4 units. You can still have, and you gotta increase the side story challenges to 20 so you can actually do that. Um, and I think that would just that in itself would make the game like 3 times better, like even more. Like it's that good. Next thing is the same problem with challenges. They only have 3. Like, I don't get why it's only 3 per like the bounty hunter, the bandit changes, and the upgrade stone retrieval. Because you need the gold. Not super important when you're starting out, but it's very important. Not specifically for gear because it's pretty cheap to max it out, even legendary. But when you get into runes or talismans, whatever they're called, they basically wreck your gold. So you need to do bounty hunter. I didn't do it at the beginning, and I am definitely sowing what I reaped now. Um, Bandit chase and upgrade stone retrieval. Again, you have to do those daily because you don't want to miss out on the dailies that you have. It's only 3. The problem with this is that it's so little that it's really slow. The progress is really slow, and I think that's something that they have to bump up. Something that Outer Plane needs to address. So if they increase it to 10, I think it would be that simple. And if it really is that expensive for the XP, like why do they make it cost 8 XP to battle or whatever it is? Like, just make it cost less if it's that a problem. If it's really about numbers, just make things cost less so that you don't really have to change how much stamina we get. Sorry, not XP, stamina. Because again, if they did increase these counts to 10, I think it's 8 per battle or whatever. Well, actually, you don't use stamina on these, but you do use stamina for the ecology request and stuff like that. So yeah, 10 stamina. So using 100 stamina is probably not the best, but they could just decrease it. Like, it's that simple. So it's really not that hard to put this change into effect. They're just gonna have to do it faster than they think. And to be fair with the ecology, you don't need the tickets. But with bandit chase and the stone retrieval, I wish they would just make it like 6 chances, double it for the gold for the bandit chase and the stone retrieval. That's another thing. Archdemon's Ruin has actually been pretty fun. This is one thing you want to be doing because you do get these what are they called? Talisman. Oh, okay, yeah. So these legendary talismans, and they're very powerful. So for the first 2, right? So you get this one, which is really good. Gladiator's Charm recovers 6 chains when using an ultimate. Really good on my Valentine because well, guess what? She's gonna be using that ultimate every battle, at least twice. So um you also get 2 on this one, which is really good. So you get action points when attacking all enemies on my Akari because she has 2 AoE attacks. Then recovers 5 chain points when using a non-attack skill, which I do have on Siron because, well, 2 of her skills are non-attack. Um, yeah, so basically you want to be clearing this. This is, I guess, something I got to show you. I wasn't clearing it, so I'm doing that now. I haven't done Infinite Corridor because why would I? Uh, I mean, maybe I will eventually. And then, yeah, so this is as far as I've gone for special identification. I've gone 12 star there and 8 star here. I've been pushing too much in these, but again, I just got a taste of them. It's only been like 4 days. So y'all gotta hold down the reins a little bit because I did not like it's been 2.5 weeks. It hasn't even been the three once it's been the 3 week mark. If I don't have at least 18 star on all of these, then well, I mean, on three of them. Because I don't really have to go for all three of them right now. You really only want to push a few of them until you get like a good set that you need from that, and then you can move on. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can do these whenever you want as long as you have tickets. And I think that's it for challenge and side story. Adventure, they have to fix the paywall. Side story, they have to increase the amount of units you can grind shards for. So the amount of side story challenges you can do, basically, just increase that to 20. Would be that simple. Um, yeah, challenges, they gotta increase the daily stuff because, and again, getting those stones. And here's the biggest part about it, right? Because when you get those stones, you want to be using them on your characters, but you want to also save them because you can't upgrade your heroes until they're a specific level, obviously. So you want to enhance them, but you can't get enough of them. And the thing is, you can't get enough of these Earth upgrade stones or whatever elemental stones, um, because not only do you need them to transcend or sorry upgrade the hero, but you need them for this gift thing, which is really good. Oh, actually, we can't give those to you. But the problem is they fall off really fast. So now I have to get the premium, right? Because that's really the only thing that's going to upgrade. And the problem with this is that you're locking a whole ass content on this character behind basically a 2 month grind at most. Actually, probably more. Like it'll probably take me a month just to get to level 5 because it slows down so much. It's ridiculous. It probably won't take me that long, but it's been 2.5 weeks. If it takes me a month and I don't even have this, like basically what you're doing for this is to try and get her, try and get her exclusive upgrade, right? You don't really care about the shards. I mean, they're nice. I'm not gonna say no to that. But you get the cloud relic, which specific to her exclusive equipment, and then increases the priority of all. Yeah, so that's so good. And then reduces water damage taken by 20%. Oh, interesting. So that I guess that's just good for her for typing. But yeah, so here's the problem, right? Akari, I've been pouring every single day. So what? 4 days, and I'm not even a level 1 yet. Like it just takes way too long. And the problem is that those were good stones that I used. Wasn't even the cheapest stones. So the fact that that's a thing is just sickening to me because it limits your progress so much. It feels like a snail's pace, and that's a problem. That will make the game die. Okay, we can hurry up. I get it. I increased. Also, yeah, the trust level like beginning is like you get nothing. You should at least be able to get shards for the hero. So that's another thing. Rewards, they're pretty decent about it, so I don't have to talk too much about it. But maybe for the hero, because you grind a lot for those stones, and they're pretty precious. And the fact that you just give them to your hero for an expression or for like 10 common food is like really, like you're just gonna flip me off outer plane and then say goodbye and pay up if you want anything. Come on. All right, so the last thing, I mean, those are like the biggest problems with the game. Everything else is fine. The mechanics are fun. The characters themselves are designed really well. It's pretty well balanced. Like that's all I can really say. Um, yeah. So the last thing would definitely be the gotcha. This gotcha is horrendous, like every other gotcha out there. Why? You had one chance, Outer Plane, to copy E7, your other game that is made by the same company. and you decided not to. So it's just like stupid. So again, you get a 2.5 chance, which is decent. But again, like I said, those chances are still nothing. I said 10% because that is basically a guaranteed 10 star when you summon 10 times. Not, no, wait. No, yeah, because it's 1 out of every 10, basically. So basically, it guarantees you a 3 star. And the reason I say this is because, again, the units take progressively more and more shards to get. So even if you get a 3 star unit, another copy, really all it's helping you do is it's increasing the chances will help you get 3 star units faster. But unless they change the amount of shards you get, it won't. Which I will be fine with if they increase the amount of heroes you can grind for up to 4, increase the side story, daily challenges, chances to 20. Because if you don't do that, again, the progress is really slow. And I'm already feeling it 2.5 weeks in. I think that is showing why the game isn't taking off like you think, Outer Plane. Because 2 weeks in, 2.5 weeks in, and I'm already facing a paywall. That is ridiculous. Like I'm appalled. That's where I'm at. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And it sucks that they don't give you as many shards when you don't get the hero, but I guess that's fine. That's kind of their way of balancing the game for free to play and pay. It's not a good thing right now, but if they end up changing the side stories, like I said, to so that you can grind or you can do 30 shards of the same character. This is why I say do that, because oh yeah, I guess they would have to change the amount of chances per story to 10. So you could at least get 15 shards of 4 heroes or 30 of each hero. Of 2 heroes, sorry. I think that would be amazing. And don't do, 20 chances because obviously that's a lot. That would be 300. Yeah. Wait, no, no. So 15 times 20. So times 10 times. No, that would be 300. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So obviously not 20 chances for one side story, but I think 10, getting 30 shards. Oh no, I guess you would get 60. I'm being a little stupid here. You'd get 60 shards, not 300. I'm being stupid math I'm talking about. But 30 I think is a definitely reasonable. Will make the grind a little bit easier. Probably I wouldn't say reasonable because it's not reasonable whatsoever right now. So they need to make it reasonable and then they need to make it fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm still having fun. I still love the game. I can't do story mode anymore, though. I guess I gotta wait for that. Kind of bullshit that they did the whole paywall thing, but again, every gotcha game is apparently gonna have that, and there's only one way they're gonna learn if we don't spend a single dime on their games. That is literally the only way companies learn. People are like, "Oh no, but you're killing off these amazing companies." No, I'm not. I'm killing off the scum companies that are trying to scam you out of your money. That is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter how visually great the game is. Like for this light, I said the same thing. Like, I don't understand how people can be sheep for pretty visuals. Like, I understand the game looks awesome and it's cool, but you're literally wasting your time as a free to play player. So, why would you play it unless you have endless amounts of money to spend? Well, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you, everybody, for watching AOG Gaming here. If you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe. Really shows your support. Helps me out, keeps you up to date with my content. 131 subscribers this time and chicks, so y'all are amazing. Keep going. Yeah, I mean, there is, like, I'm not trying to sound like a broken record for all my videos, but I feel like companies aren't getting the message. Like, just watch my video and you would get the message instantly. Free is fun. Paying money, like, even just as someone who has endless money, is a whole nother, like, thing that you have to do. You have to, accept the payment, do your finger scan or type in your pass, whatever you have to do to pay for the game. It just is a lot more than just playing the game and having access to the content right away. You don't have to have access to the best type of that content, but having access to the content instantly and for free for all is what makes a game or breaks it, especially with the gacha industry now. So just keep that in mind, folks. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.